All right, welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Truax. I am, if you're on this call, I am your upline somewhere in there. I don't know where, but somewhere. And I'm on the advisory council here at Q Sciences and Emerald Ambassador here. If you don't know my journey, I came to Q Sciences 2 years ago, almost exactly on November 28th. We just had our 2-year anniversary. We were six figures in debt. And because of primarily from my son's medical bills. And we had been on a really long behavioral health journey with my son, and my own anxiety was through the roof at that point. I was spinning all the plates and basically was about to drop just about every single one. And I think we've all been there at some point in our life where you just pile it all on, and at some point it's going to cave in, right? And that's really where we were. And we're going to talk a lot about vision and mindset today. But the key to where I was 2 years ago to where I was now is that my vision and my mindset had to continue to evolve and grow as I could start to see further in front of myself. See, if 2 years ago you would have told me, Tara, don't worry, in 2 years you'll have made $1 million in lifetime earnings from this company. Don't worry. I probably would have been like, you're crazy and nuts, but I'll trust you because my hope was so high. Everything I had been broken down, and suddenly I had tried everything, and I was at a point where it's like, okay, God, something's got to show up now because this is it. I don't know what else to do. And so I surrendered. I let go of all the limitations and limiting beliefs, which we're going to talk about tonight, go to the side. And I just showed up in a new version of myself because I didn't know what else to do. And that unfolded where we are now, 2 years later. So vision has become something I've become incredibly passionate about, because without a clear vision, it's very difficult to take inspired action. And if you don't take inspired action, how do you get out of the hamster wheel? I ask people this all the time. Most of you are so good in your comfort zone, yet your comfort zone is so uncomfortable, it's become comfortable. So you're in this parking lot and you're going around and around and around and around, and you're watching the plants grow, and it's spring and all the flowers are growing and it's so beautiful and it's awesome. And then summer comes and none of the plants get watered and they all start to die. And then the winter comes, no seeds have been planted, and you can't figure out why everything's gone. Because you've only gone in a circle. Nowhere in there, somebody comes down and chops down the tree. Somebody else comes down and tears down the house that was there. Suddenly nothing else is there, but you're still going around and around and around, and you can't figure out why, because you never put the destination in your GPS to take you somewhere else. But everyone else around you did. This is why a vision becomes so important. This is how we show up here. See, between our ears, if you guys saw my live today in the movement, you guys all heard my story of the flea, which I'll talk about again tonight, but we can only see that which we already know. Let me ask you, have you yet? There are less. What's the date today? The 7th. There are 20 something days left of 2020. There are 365 days in 2021 laying ahead of you. Have you yet sat down and created a vision of what you want your business to look like in 2021? Have you looked at the possibility of by December of next year, what you want your business to look like? You have 4 quarters next year. What do you want each quarter to look like? Where do you want to grow? Have you done the same thing with your family? Have you done the same thing with your faith and your friends and your overall health and wellness, your physical fitness? See, we want to have a vision with all of the pieces of us because we are holistic beings and we don't want one out of whack. I don't care how great your business is. If your marriage fell apart, you have no connection to whatever you believe in, you gain a ton of weight because you're super unhealthy and you have no friends at the end. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, we're not born with money and we don't die with money. And if that's all you have, that's a really, 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 really sad way of living. It's about holistic growth. It's about who we're becoming. It's the 5 F's of what Q Science is about, right? Our faith. I don't care what you believe, but in something bigger than us, because we all know if just the law of science as it is, we're energy vibrating a frequency. So some sort of faith. I don't even care. Worship a rock for all I care. I literally don't care. Something bigger than you, because when we go bigger than us, we're outside of our brain. We can only create what's limited in here. We have to go beyond. Then we have our family, whatever that is for you. Then we have our finances, keeping your financial health in order, make sure we're saving for some sort of future vision, our fitness, and our friends. So do you have a clear vision for 2021? And if not, I hope this inspires you tonight to do that. Now, you're saying, well, I didn't create a vision for 2021 because what if I don't hit that? Or what if I don't earn that? Or what if you don't? What will happen to you? Somebody asked me today, well, I want to reach out to this girl, but what if she says no? What if she does? What if she doesn't? What if she says no now? And yes, 5 months from now, and she runs to Crown Diamond. You don't know. See, you don't get to predict the future. We guide the future by being in the present. And in the present, we want to create a solid vision for our life 5 years out. Here's the other thing that's really important. If you're not having some sort of vision that's further outside than right in front of your face, you will be in constant reaction. If you suddenly feel like you're dealing with a lot of negativity, a lot of things coming at you, a lot of complaints about things like shipping or anything like that, but P.S., you're in COVID right now. You want to talk about shipping, go talk to my husband who runs distribution for a huge cosmetic company. Then you will have high anxiety on shipping, by the way. You don't even want to know those conversations or the surcharges. He just showed me what's happening right now. It's absolutely insane. The perspective we have is so small. See, the perspective we have is based on our paradigm. A paradigm is the way we see something, and the way we see something is based on the life that we've lived. And the life that we've lived, we've decided things are a certain way based on our perspective of that. And everything we've gone through, we've tucked in a little backpack behind us. This is what I call our backpack of limiting beliefs. Now, if that backpack of limiting beliefs gets too heavy, you will not be able to continue in growth. You will actually start to decline, because everything in your life you'll have to show up as or do to actually quantify the fact that you're carrying this heavy backpack. No, I'm carrying this heavy backpack, so this has to be true. No, I'm carrying this heavy backpack, so this has to be real. No, I'm carrying this heavy backpack, so I have to prove I'm right. Instead of looking at what's in the backpack, deciding if actually it's what you want to carry in the present. See, you guys, the past does not equal the future unless we live there. I'm going to say that one more time. The past does not equal the future unless we live there. So 2021 is going to be what for you? I don't care if 2020 was a horrible year for you. In your life, in your business, in your family, for a lot of people, it was a very difficult year. But I'm going to tell you something. For also a lot of people, it was an incredible year of releasing, because the whole world was in massive change. Reflection. There are some leaders on this call right now that have done incredible reflection in 2020, because they didn't use it as an excuse. They used it as an opportunity. And that's what a true CEO of business does. Now, so I'm going to ask you this question right now. Number one, have you written a clear vision for what you want 2021 to look like? Now, I always inspire my leaders to have some sort of word of intention for the year. Every year I have a word. So next year for 2021, my word is flow. And the leaders that were at our retreat just recently, they all had intention, they all had a word. We built vision boards based on that word. And all the 5 F's, faith, fitness, family, finances, friends, they all fell into those five, that word. And that is the intention and the vision we're creating for this year. But I want you to go bigger. What's your 5-year vision? When you wake up on your birthday 5 years from now, what do you feel? What do you see? Who is there? What brings you joy? What do you do in a day? It's the feelings. See, we're not born with money and we don't die with money, but what do we create in that time? And that 5-year vision allows us to get more than 2 inches in front of us. It gets us out of reaction and into proaction. And it also gives us a destination to put into our GPS so that when we get in the car and we start on the journey, we know where to go. And then what happens? There's a roadblock. There's a dead animal in the road. We still know where we need to go. It doesn't make us take a detour halfway around the world and we run out of gas and we quit because we still knew where we needed to go. It was just a detour. All right, let's see. Let's look around. What resources do we have around us? What possibilities? How can I grow to get around this situation and be a better person? Because it's not about the actual destination, you guys, it's about the journey. So how are you showing up? See, if we are right here, 2 inches in front of us, the journey is 2 inches in front of us. It's not, you're wanting the reward, you want the outcome. You're you focused. You're what I call, please don't yell at me for saying this, but you're what I call a CEO. Second question, are you a CEO of your business or are you a CEO? Mr. Mark Wilson, our CEO, he would have never started Q Sciences without a vision. He would have never started Q Sciences without a business plan. He would have never started Q Sciences looking 2 inches in front of himself and decide tomorrow we're going to be $1 billion company. That would have never been realistic. Yet why are some of you? That is a CEO. See, if you're starting a business right now, as a CEO in your business, you're going to have a vision. You're going to have a vision for your life and your family and your fitness and your finances. You're going to have that. You're going to have a business plan in place. You're going to have boundaries. You're going to educate yourself. As we educate ourselves, we can inspire others. As we learn, we can then help educate others and empower them. We're not here to take credit for leaders. We're not here to make it about us. We're here to grow something bigger. When we're growing and we're planting seeds and we're creating something bigger, now it's not about just you. This is where your limiting beliefs of your backpack that say, oh, well, someone will see me or they'll think I'm a fraud or I can't do it or I'm not enough or I'm not worthy. We all have it, guys. I'm not making fun of any of you because I'm right there in the boat, okay? We can look at those things. And if you guys have not seen my recorded call on how to write a release letter around limiting beliefs, I'm happy to share that with you. I have a call that I trained on it at our retreat, and I did a call on how to write a release letter. And I'm happy if you feel like you have a lot of limiting beliefs, I'm happy to write that because it is a tool to help, as well as utilizing breath work, which I also talked about that in the movement today. So go and watch that live. I want to empower you as a leader, just like Mr. Mark Wilson. He looks at the things that are coming for the future, but is doing the planning in the present. So we don't want to be living in the future because you miss the now and you miss the journey. We're living in the present and we're making smart, educated decisions that move us towards that destination, just like when you're in a car. Do I need to turn now? Do I need to go straight? Do I need to avoid this bump in the road? But you're present in the moment. That's where your vision really comes in. So I really want you to be looking as a CEO in your business. What are great qualities? Drop them in the comments. What are great qualities of a CEO? Start dropping them in the comments and look, are you those qualities? Are you embodying them? And if not, why? Because remember, you guys, the past does not equal the future unless you live there. It's simply a choice, and it could be difficult, or it could also be a choice. Supportive, driven, those are words I see. I'd like more words. Responsive, proactive. They're not reactive. A CEO, you guys, they're full of excuses, they're full of blame, they're full of reaction. They're not proactive. Oh, I really wanted to be on this call, but my daughter threw up on me. Or I really wanted to be on this call and I lost track of time, or I fell asleep and I'm so sorry. And my business, I didn't hit the thing because so and so quit. That's a CEO. Hate to tell you this, guys. People are gonna quit. They do everywhere, not just in network marketing, all business. People leave all business. 90% of storefront businesses, 90% of people in business, they fail. And the part of the biggest thing is the vision isn't big enough. They're not there to get through the muck. They're not there to grow, and they're not willing. So are you willing? Are you willing to, somebody said adaptive, are you willing to adapt and change? If you have not read Who Moved My Cheese, it's like this big. You could read it in 45 minutes. Read it. You have to adapt. And 2020 was the year of adapting. It was the year of shedding. It was the year of exposing. And now what? You have 2021. You have 365 days to create something new every single day. And every 10 seconds, you get to make a new choice. So if you don't like what you've created right now, guess, create something new. And oops, I don't like that. Well, good, make a new choice. But don't get so bogged up in it. I made this choice and I'm stuck here, because you're not. Unless you're dead. I'm sorry, that's a little morbid, but you're not. You get to create something new. So what is it? What is your vision for 2021? So you have some challenges tonight. Your first challenge is to come up with a word of inspiration for 2021. And that is going to be your intention. Number two, if you have not written your 5-year living vision, to sit down and write that. Now, some of your words, there's really beautiful words being dropped in the comment. Thank you, guys. Some of your visions might be very difficult to write if the backpack of limiting beliefs holding you in the past is too heavy. And this is common. And it's at that point, I want you to look at the limiting belief that is coming up for you most in your face, of why you can't move forward, whether it's you're not enough, or you're not worthy, or you're not safe. And go back to an earliest memory of feeling that feeling. And it's usually between 0 to 12, because that is when our beta and theta brain waves are most active. And that's where we're storing those memories. And we're going to go back and we're going to write a release letter to that person at that time. So say your mom did something when you were 5, okay? Say this is just an example, and I'm just using this as a tool for you. I have a whole video on writing a release letter, but I just want to give you a tool. Say your mom, you experienced when you were 5, you went to a store and said, we don't have money for that. And it was something that all of your friends had and you wanted it really, really, really bad. And in there, you took it as that you're not worthy of that. Because remember what I said, it's our paradigm. It's the glasses we perceived this experience at. I grew up in a house of 4 girls and my mom. Okay. We had an experience happen where all 4 of us will tell you it was a completely different experience because of the glasses we saw it as. And then my mom will tell you it was completely different off that. And she was the one who went through it because you're seeing it through the lenses of your own reflection. That's the paradigm. When we can make a shift and we can see things from a different perspective, often we can change. And so that's where that release letter comes. So what you would do is you would sit down, take quiet time, get a bunch of paper, and you would start writing a letter to your mom from yourself at that age and freehand. And it's big and it's messy and it can be teary-eyed and it can have cuss words and it can have all the energy of whatever's holding and how you felt. And you don't stop writing until you get to a place of compassion or forgiveness for yourself or your mom or whoever you're writing that letter to in that experience. And once you've completely got to a place of calm and forgiveness and you've let that go, we tear it up and you burn it and you release it. And you release that energy. This is a tool a lot of our leaders use. I just used it for an experience I just went through with something that triggered me. And it wasn't back in a long time ago. This was something that just happened. I just wrote a release letter so I could release that energy so that when I had the conversation with that person, there's no charge behind it. There's no energy. I let it all go on a piece of paper, burned it, let it go. And then I'm in the moment, in the present moment, able to be there without no emotion. A CEO looks at things progressively and looks at numbers and looks at things logistically. A CEO is emotional and reactive. It's a choice, but this is a tool to help you. Okay. So you can utilize that as a tool. So if your vision is you're having a hard time writing the vision. Sorry, I got distracted by the comments. If you're having a hard time writing the vision, do that release letter. Otherwise, really let yourself dream. Really let yourself dream big. And I want you to envision your life 5 years from now on your birthday when you wake up. Write how old you are. This is really important. My business coach said, she said, Tara, I had this dream. I wanted my girls to come and be in this. We wanted to do an add-on in our house. And after soccer, I wanted them to all be there. And when I wrote my 5-year vision, one of my girls was going to be in college. So I realized I needed to take action now. I'll tell you the same thing in my 5-year living vision. When I wrote my 5-year living vision, every time I tried to write my first book, my hand kept turning it to my second book, and I kept turning it to the first book, and my hand kept turning it to my second book. So if I'm writing my second book 5 years from now, guess what I must be doing now? And hence I just signed with my first publisher. Okay. But that would have not happened. Hence I didn't have a vision 5 years out. Inspired action paves the way, right? This is where we start to take that action. So let your intuition guide you. Be in the present moment and dream really big, but include your ages. Include your ages if you're married, of your husband, your partners, your spouse. Include ages of your children, because some of the things we desire, time is a factor. Remember, some of you know that I recently said this. Time is an illusion, right? But time is immeasurable. And the only thing that's limited is time because we've put that limitation. But creation is not limited. Money is not limited. All of those things are infinite resources, but we put a time on it. Ask yourself this. Would you be okay making $1 million by the time you die? Most of the people on this call would say, yeah, by the time I die, I could make $1 million. Most people could say that. If you add it all up, you can do that, right? Now, could you make $1 million in 20 years? Most people would say, yeah, I could do that in 20 years. Yeah, we make roughly, yeah, we could do that in 20 years. What if I said, could you make $1 million in 1 year? Most of you would be like, no, I couldn't do that. See the problem. Now, what if I told you you make $1 million in a month? All of you are like, this girl's nuts. You couldn't make $1 million in a month. People do. People do all the time. The problem isn't the number. The problem is the time limitation you put on it. So you're limiting your creation by time. This is why we do the 5-year vision. Yeah, I'm crazy. This is why you do the 5-year vision, because it's far enough out that it's not in your face and you're not limited by time, but it's not too far out that it becomes that you don't take action. So 5 years is that middle mark that actually is far enough to take inspired action. And what it does is then gives you that place in blah 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 destination to put in your GPS and start taking inspired action as you go. Okay. So this is special. This is really dream big. I want you to go so big. I want you to go big that if you read it to someone, you're like, people think I'm crazy. Good. Go that big. Start dreaming again. I don't know CEOs that don't dream, you guys. Q Sciences would not be in existence if Mark Wilson did not have a dream and a vision, but then took inspired action to pave that into existence, to create a pathway for us to then step into and follow and unwind and create more so that we together could create a $1 billion company. See, you're not coming into a $1 billion company, friends. You're coming into creating one. You could be part of it. But have you allowed yourself? Is that part of your vision? Do you see yourself as the CEO of your business working towards creating a $1 billion company with me? I'm here with you. Or are you a CEO blaming? Blaming, oh, shipping's taking too long, or this is too expensive, or nobody wants this, or nobody wants to do this, or that's you. You don't want to do it. Everybody else could have the same success. I am no different. I paid the same $34.95 as you. Marielle paid the same $34.95 as you. Marielle and Frank have made $4 million in 2.5 years. They paid the same $34.95. Why is it different? It's their inspired action. It's their vision. Their vision is clear. They work towards that. They make sure that they ask those questions. They say, what if this person tells me no? And what if they don't? Who cares? If you're living in the greatest service of showing up and simply sharing, and it's not about you, you're just showing up, sharing. You're being authentic. Look, it's like the story of the waitress and the coffee, right? You can go into a restaurant and the waitress is going to ask you if you want coffee. And if you say no, she's not going to run into the back corner and say, oh my God, the worst waitress ever. I quit. I could never do this. No, she doesn't even care. She goes on to the next table and asks them if they want coffee. And they want coffee. And they want coffee. Yet there is somebody in the back waiting for coffee and he's dying for a cup of coffee, and all she has to do is ask. And if she misses his table, he's going to be sitting there wanting coffee really bad. That's you. That's you in your business. That's you showing up. See, a CEO always shows up to work. Mr. Mark Wilson is so dedicated that his wife literally is having surgery and he goes home and he's there with her. He takes care of her and he's back at the office. Him and Jake were with COVID, the only two in the office when Utah shut down. Because he had to plan and figure out how we were going to get through the shipping issues way back in March to project and plan. And you know what he did? He did a really progressive thing. He started doing weekly orders. You know what that did? When everything shut down, we didn't. We didn't cut one SKU. Companies were out there cutting 10, 20, one company cut 35 SKUs out of their back office, and we didn't cut any. We added, we opened countries. That is having clear vision. That is being a CEO. That is not using COVID as an excuse, but as a way to grow and expand and become more. So what are you projecting into 2021? We're going to have some big changes. Big changes are coming. I'm telling you, I'm going to Utah on Wednesday. I will be there all week, and we have meetings the entire time up at the cabin at the lake house. Our company went and bought a 15,000 square foot lake house in the middle of COVID. That is vision. That is inspiration. Where are you growing in 2021? Before we jump off, I want to talk about the flea. And if you watched my live in the movement, you'll hear the story again. But I really want you to get this as you set this vision and you literally expand your mindset to be beyond what's just between your two ears, but the infinite possibility of what you can create, because it's really incredible. A flea is genetically designed to jump 3 feet. Think about that. 3 feet. If a human were to jump 3 feet, that would be us jumping to the top of a skyscraper. In retrospect, that's the difference. That's how high they're genetically designed to jump. Now, if you take a flea and you put it inside a glass jar and put a lid on it, that flea, because it's designed to jump 3 feet, will keep jumping and hitting the top. And it will hurt, and it will do it again. And it will hurt, and it will do it again. And we'll do it over and over and over until it finally decides it's tired of being hurt, and it will stop jumping that high and only jump to the top of the lid, but it won't hit it anymore. Won't ever hit it again. Now you put a second flea in that jar who's programmed to jump 3 feet. And the first few times it's going to hit the jar top, but then it's going to see the other flea that's not and catch on and realize it doesn't need to be hurt anymore. And after a couple times, it'll only jump as high as the other flea, not hitting the lid anymore. Where are you leading your team? Are you the team the leader that's jumping 3 feet and helping people jump 3 feet? Or are you the leader that has the lid, that lid of fear, limiting your belief of where you can go and what you can create because nobody else has done it before you? Guess what? Nobody in this company has reached Crown Diamond yet. We're a fairly new company yet. Nobody's done it. Why can't it be you? First person to run a 4-minute mile. Nobody had ever run it in the history of all people. As soon as that first person ran a 4-minute mile, people daily after were running 4-minute miles, tons of people. It was here that was stopping. It was the vision of what was possible. Now you have the flea in the jar, and those 2 fleas have a baby. That baby will never even know it's genetically coded to jump 3 feet because it never will try to jump higher than that lid, ever. It won't even know. What are you creating? Where are you tapping the lid? Where are you tapping the lid in your team? Taking off the lid is big. It's expansive, guys. Choice is big. We can make a lot of choices in a day. I encourage you to just keep choosing. You'll make great choices. You'll make bad choices. Don't judge them. Just like, whoops, all right, let's move on. Get really good at saying, I'm sorry. A CEO is really good at saying, I'm sorry. What can I do better? How can I grow? Not, all right, I'm going to dig my grave now and I'm going to die. So I hope this inspires you to get a clear vision for 2021. Get a solid word that inspires you. Take moments, whether it's prayer or meditation or quiet time or bath time or whatever you do, to center your mind and get a clear word that inspires you from the inside, not from your head, but from your heart, so that you can lead into 2021 with a clear vision. See what 2021 is going to look like in December. See what that paves, what you're going to pave the way. You didn't like what you created in 2020. Who cares? You don't have to live in the past. You only have to live in the present and create from here. Who cares? You recruited 1 person in 2020. You can create 10. You can really recruit 20 in 2022 or 2021. Well, that was weird. We skipped a year. 2021, because you did it before. You got 1 customer, great. You can get another. We've already done that. You can do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again. Get out of the limitation of fear. Get into the vision of why you're doing it. Get past that. Get into the vision of what you want to create for your family, how you want to show up, and get to the feeling of what drives you. Because that's going to get you to expand and create something greater. That's what allowed us to create $1 million in 2 years, and we'll create beyond. I didn't know what was possible, but I keep asking what else is possible. And then I show up in that because everything outside my comfort zone creates something different. And from there, I can create a new possibility and a new opportunity. That's what a CEO does. So ask yourself, are you a CEO? And if you have not been showing up, that make a new choice. Decide now, not even waiting 20 days or whatever until 2021. Start now. Get the plan. Create your business plan. Create your business plan for January, February, March. Create your business plan on how you want to close out this year. Create your business plan on who on your team you're going to get Christmas cash. It is a lot of money. If you got new people Christmas cash right now, it could change their family's future. It changed mine. $800 of Christmas cash in my pocket my first year changed my Christmas because we literally didn't know how we were paying for Christmas. So understand there are a lot of people out there that need what you have. And are you willing to show up as the CEO to inspire them and be the hope for them? All right, guys, I hope this was inspiring. I hope you have some tools for limiting beliefs. If you need the full training on limiting beliefs, just shoot me a message. I'm happy to send that to you. And really getting a clear intention word and start driving a clear focus for 2021, you guys. All right. Good night, you guys. Talk to you soon.